Hey, what's going on, guys? Notorious Rhino here, back with another Car Mechanic Simulator 2021 video. Today we're going to be rebuilding the Katagiri Katsumoto. I'm excited for this one because it's a 4-cylinder this time instead of the V8 or V12 option. So it's a nice change of pace. Like I mentioned in the last episode, it'll be a good change of pace for us on the channel. It is a i4 DOHC turbocharged. So inline 4 DOHC turbocharged. I think that's the best option out of the swap options as far as I know. I'll reflect on that a little bit when we get back to the garage and check it out and make sure, but I think that's the best option. So we're going to start out with 189 horsepower. That's, definitely not too bad for a 4-cylinder. It's got 62,427 miles on it. I'm sure the parts are okay. It's going to be better than buying from a junkyard, and unfortunately sometimes I don't have time for the junkyard full rebuild, although I love it. And I wish I could do it every time. I don't have time for that sometimes. So we're going to go ahead and buy it from the auction house. I just want to remind you to please subscribe and like this video. Thank you so much for watching, and let's get into it. It's mine. 15. Okay. You're not going to outbid me. I'm going to win. Stop it. Stop it, nerd. Stop it, nerd. Haha! Told you I was gonna get it. I think I'm gonna go ahead and buy the interior first. Just, change of pace. See what we can do with this. I need to get all this off of here, that's for sure. This is not for this vehicle, and I think it's gonna be this right here. So this is what came with it. So the seat 5 fabric B, the bench Katsumoto, steering wheel Continental. You know what? We're gonna change it up. We are not using those. So what should we get, guys? I want something flashy for that. I'm gonna make this car look awesome. Straight up. We're doing something different. We're doing a 4-cylinder. I want to make this car look sweet on the inside and out. So I'm trying to decide on what we want to make it, what we want to do to make it look awesome. I'd like to at least have some sort of bucket seat option in there. And I know there's not a whole lot of bucket seat options. We could do the 370 seats, because those do look pretty sweet. Well, there is these two. You know what? Let's just go ahead and do these two, because these are some sweet looking bucket seats we can do for the front. I think we're gonna go with the M3. I don't know why, but it's got like a tuner look to it, like a tuner car look. So I think we're gonna do that. And what kind of bench seat do we want? So many choices, although there could be more. I hope they do add more in the future, but I can get behind what we have right now. All right, guys. So I think the inside's looking pretty awesome. We got these. You see what I'm talking about? How it makes it, I don't know, it gives it more, the flat bottom steering wheel, it just gives it more of like a tuner look, I guess. It looks pretty sweet. We got the 2 front bucket-y type of seats. They're not full bucket seats, but they look pretty awesome. We have the standard Katsumoto back bench seat. Yeah, the inside's looking pretty awesome. So when we get this thing painted up and decked out, it should give it a little something. If you pay attention to detail like that. I already welded this thing up, so I'll throw this back over in its spot. Let me go ahead and repair the Katsumoto body parts, and I'll go ahead and get started on this vehicle and be back in a second. So I wanted to go ahead and update you. So I went ahead and replaced all of the glass parts in the vehicle, the license plate, all the exterior parts, as well as the inside. I switched up the bumper, the front and the rear bumper, the headlights, and the hood. There was a few different options. So instead of the standard one, I went with like the C front bumper, the C rear bumper, and some of these other options, and the B hood under the body tuning shop to give it a little bit of flavor. I wanted to spice it up a little bit. I didn't want it to make it as basic. Unfortunately, there's not like a spoiler, a small spoiler or anything you can put on it yet. Maybe that'll come down the line. I'm not sure if this thing is even really meant to have one, but I think it would look cool with a small spoiler. So anyway, I figured I'd go ahead and update you with that. Let me go ahead and get this engine out and start rebuilding it with performance parts, and I'll be back in a second. Okay, so we have a slightly different setup here. Look at this front exhaust section turbo pipe here. Haven't seen one like this yet, so this is definitely something different. Good thing we switched up and we're trying to experience a little bit of different options here. So there's the turbocharger right there. And you got the front exhaust section from the turbo. And I went ahead and took out the catalytic converter and the mufflers and all that. You know, we're going to replace all that with performance parts. So this right here, I need to... Let me see what I need to take off for this. This is actually different, so, you know, I like different. So I do need to take the turbocharger off first. I went ahead and popped the wheels off. Now, I'm not entirely sure that I'm going to do 100% on this vehicle. You know, it's going to run just fine with a few parts, a few diminished parts. So I'm not going to worry about a full 100% like in the other videos that I've done. I try to do 100%, but you know, nowadays I'm probably just going to try to get all the performance parts in it, and in our 3-star series do the performance parts fully upgraded, because that's really all that matters. You know, sure, I could go ahead and redo everything and get a complete, what is it called? I think it's a complete quality like bonus or something, I believe. You know, I don't really care about that, honestly. I just want to get this car looking awesome, and you know, we'll get it all nice and neat looking. So again, when I pull this up at the end of the video, you know, you might see, well, it's gonna be better than that, I promise. But you know, by the time you see this at the end of the video, it might not be 100%, but I mean, it should be close. So just wanted to give you a heads up on that in case you were wondering why it wasn't 100% at the end. I do need to take the turbocharger out though. Not used to dealing with a turbocharger, so that's, you know, that's pretty cool. Go ahead and pop this out, and then I gotta pull that front exhaust pipe off. So now I gotta raise it back up again to get back under it to take that off. Now I have to drop this back down to take the starter off in order to get the gearbox off to make sure I can get the engine out. So if you're doing a inline 4 turbocharge, make sure you're gonna have a few steps with this. You gotta take the you know, you gotta get that front exhaust pipe out, you gotta take the turbocharger off, you gotta get the starter off, and then you gotta lift this back up to get the gearbox off, which I assume you have to have the gearbox off like in other vehicles to take the engine out, I would imagine. Like, it would make sense to me. I haven't really tested it, but yeah, we'll go ahead and pop the gearbox off. I'm really excited for this one, guys. I guess it's just so much of a change that, you know, I don't even know if I've ever really redone a 4-cylinder in this game yet, even on my own time. So I think it'll be a really good experience. Oh, I knew I was forgetting something. So I told you guys I was going to look at the different swap option upgrades. Before I forget, so we have the i4 SOHC ABT, the i4 DOHC AQC. I'm gonna assume an i3 is not gonna be nearly as much power, but let me go check just to be safe. So I have the engine on it right there, but I need to take that off real quick. Go to create new engine. So it is an i4. So this is an i3 DOHC. Yeah, it's like a lawnmower engine. Turbocharged. That's actually not bad for a 3-cylinder. i4 DOHC 4x4. Wow. That has a crap ton of horsepower. i4 DOHC AQC, so that's got 145. What are we looking for? 180 ABT. Yeah, I think the i4 turbocharged is the best bet. So I just wanted to verify that before I continued ripping this thing apart and, you know, putting all the performance parts in it when we could potentially get a better engine from the get-go. So let me go ahead and install this back on the engine stand, and I'll get started with this. Alright guys, we're finally back. It didn't take too long. The i4 engine, you know, didn't have too many parts into it, so, you know, we kind of sped along pretty quick. This honestly might be one of my favorite, at least exterior builds of all time, because this paint job is sick. You've probably already seen it on the thumbnail by now, but look at this beauty. Wow. I'm glad I put the other bumpers and everything on too, because it gives it a little, it's not as flat as the original bumper, I guess. Yeah, this thing is awesome looking, guys. Just look at it. Just look at it. Yeah, so this is the Katsumoto with the custom livery. It's the number 2 option, I think. There is the performance parted out engine. Like I said, I didn't fully upgrade everything to 100%, but we're at 79%, but the engine is a complete 100%. The exterior, of course, and body, frame, interior is all 100%. This right here is probably some of the chassis, I would assume, because I didn't replace a lot of that, but I did, you know, I put the performance part muffler and catalytic converter and stuff like that, gearbox and all that. So, yep, but this is it. So I think it turned out amazing. Let's go ahead and run a dyno on it and see how much power we gain. So we start out with 189 horsepower. Let's go ahead and run this thing and see what we get. So we only gain 93 horsepower. So we are at 282 horsepower now, which for a 4-cylinder, you know, is really great, honestly, in real life anyway. I'm sure it's great for the game, but again, I haven't worked with too many 4-cylinders or i4s or i3s or anything, so I'm not sure what the what a great horsepower is in the game for them. I'm gonna assume that's pretty good though. So we gained 93 horsepower, so that's pretty sweet. I'm gonna go ahead and tune this thing up and get over to the speed track. This is trial number 1 for my tuning expertise. Kidding. Definitely a joke. I am not a tuning expert, but we'll see what we can get to. So, you know, I know the V8s and the V8 supercharged engines, you know, we can kind of get, if we get 300, we're doing really good. So 300 miles per hour. So let's go ahead and see what this thing can do. Let's get it. Oh, it wasn't too bad of a shift. Okay. So I think I have the top speed set up for 200 miles per hour right now. I'm just kind of lowballing it because I don't know what to expect really. I don't think it's going to make 200, but I guess it always has the option to get there if we can pick up enough speed in time. This is still amazing though for a 4-cylinder. 185, we're doing it, we're doing it. Come on, come on. Ah, 189. You hear that turbo in this thing, guys? God, what a beautiful vehicle. Alright guys, we're on attempt number 2 here. It looks like we're doing pretty well actually. Still got a little bit of runway left, so we are at almost 180. Well, I think we're going to do better than we did before. Well, it'll be close. 88, 189. Ah, no, I think that's what we got last time. So it seems like it's topping out at 189. Let me try one more time. I'm going to add an extra gear or two and see what we can get. God, this thing is amazing looking. We are on attempt number 3 here, so let's see what we can get this time. 160, and it's not looking amazing. Come on, baby, you can do it. I believe. I believe. No, I don't think it's gonna really help. We still hit the 189 mark. Well, you know what, guys? I think we're gonna go ahead and take it at 189. You know, I cannot wait to do this thing in our 3-star series, though. Wow. When I can max out every performance part in this vehicle, I know for a fact that I can get a great speed out of this thing. So, for a 4-cylinder anyway. Again, I'm not sure what to expect, but I would say close to 200. You know, 189 is probably pretty decent in this game for a 4-cylinder. So, let me go ahead and go back to the garage. Alright guys, I think that's going to do it for this episode. We made an awesome looking vehicle. I just want you to take this thing in because this paint job is probably the best I've seen so far on a vehicle. So it looks pretty awesome. We got the nice beefy tires on there, the slicks. We got the cool interior. I think we did pretty good. We hit 189 miles per hour, and we have, let me check the horsepower again. We got the 282 horsepower in this inline 4, so it's pretty awesome, honestly, in my opinion, anyway. I'm sure the more 4-cylinders we look at, you know, the more ideas we'll get around the 4-cylinder base and the 3-cylinder, the inline 3, and the 6-cylinder. So I'm just going to have some experience with that to understand what's truly amazing and everything. And, you know, we'll have to do more videos and everything to get an idea of that. So just make sure you guys stick around for future episodes and we'll explore it together. Other than that, guys, I had a great time this episode. It was fun rebuilding this. I just want to remind you again to please subscribe and like this video. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Notorious Rhino, and I'll see you next time.